25 minutes before 11 o'clock. When I was a kid, summer vacations seemed to go too fast. I think it still goes fast. Looks like we're going to talk about going back to school. Mike Fallon is in the studio. One of the few places he actually calls home. Or actually, the whole world you call home. Mike is here with some of his guests to talk about higher education happenings. If you are looking to further your education, whether it's for credits or not, it's a great time to call in and get some information, or just listen in anyway, and find some information from Mike Fallon and his guests. And good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Any last-minute road trips for you?
Oh, I got a couple little things planned.
Really?
Nothing too.
Tell me
big,
one.
nothing
Just give me one. I live through you.
I have an India trip coming up.
India.
Just a little trip to India.
India.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh no.
Yeah, but this guy next to me does international recruiting for College of Central Florida, Randolph.
Yes.
And we share stories, and he's been to some fabulous places too.
Absolutely.
So do the campuses plural of our little county represent the world? I mean, do we have people from all over the world coming here?
Sure. Absolutely. We currently at College of Central Florida have over 29 countries represented.
Oh, wow.
It's unreal.
Yes.
And are they all the continents, or do we have mostly Europe, mostly Asia? Where are they coming from?
Pretty much all over.
Really? Wow, that's cool. Do you teach those languages over there? No.
No.
No. Just
We do.
you do.
We do.
You do.
On our main campus in Orlando, UCF, we have a variety of foreign languages. We call them global languages. But we also have UCF Global, which is an independent department on our campus that works solely with international students from all over the world, and there's a huge representation.
Really?
And it becomes the gateway for students coming in to finish their degree here in the States and potentially go back home and work, or stay here, go to graduate school, all kinds of things. I've had the opportunity to go there a couple of times for different meetings and sessions, and it's pretty outstanding. Even their staff are from all over the world, so there's a connection point when you're coming in from someplace else to come in. There's a familiar
Wow.
face, someone who speaks your language literally. So it's a really cool thing.
You know, I know we have. One question I have to ask you. We were talking about the cultural differences besides the language.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, in America, we laugh like horses. They say, "Yeah, we do that. We all do this, and we don't cover our mouths." But a lot, right? So,
Yeah.
so you've been to some of these countries. Do they look at you funny when you laugh?
I mean, they just look at me funny, period. I'm not sure why.
Right into that.
But no, well, you know, and that's something that's really interesting, because today we wanted to talk about distance learning and different modalities for learning, because we all offer different ways to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Whether it be on ground evening lecture style, online, maybe video cam, maybe we have a number of campuses overseas where we hold courses, and then all of our colleges offer study abroad programs. So there's many different ways to learn, but today we'll talk about primarily distance learning.
And would that be always through like a Skype or something like that?
Well, it could be online, where you're fully interacting on an online platform. You're doing message boards, you're watching videos, you're interacting with other students through group chat, or it could be video cam software, where you're interacting live, real time with an instructor somewhere else, maybe students somewhere else. It could be hybrid or blended, where you have some component of the course fully online. However, you do meet face to face, maybe once.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just depends on the program, depends on where you are. Kind of one of the things we all talk about is meeting the student where they are, providing the educational resources they need so they can finish and reach that goal. So whether they're here locally and they've got family and work and all those things, so they can't pick up and relocate to a major university, or if they live farther away and they're not close to a college or university campus, they've got options.
Right.
So does this also solve the problem of the person who works like odd hours?
Absolutely. So if you're working a third shift and you need to be sleeping during the day and you can't take an English class
Right.
at 9 o'clock in the morning because you've been up for 18 hours,
Right.
absolutely. We all offer options that can help a student wherever they are get to that next step and work around things like crazy schedules or family commitments, or if they're place bound, if it's just not convenient where they are, there's not a location near them. And that happens a lot. I mean, we support students from a pretty large area, Marion, Citrus, Levy, Alachua. There's some pretty rural rural areas. I mean, I work with students who don't have regular internet access. So, I mean, it's meeting the student wherever they are, providing those resources. I think that's what we all focus on.
Absolutely.
Wow. And does the older student, maybe not even looking for a credit, like I mentioned in the beginning, maybe just wanting to learn a language or something, does that person, because do they have a learning curve when it comes to the computers and things like that? Like a younger person, seems like they all have got it. Like Pokemon Go was outside the window yesterday.
Some of the programs do have immersion and prep courses that you can take prior to. We always recommend, and we have a checklist that's embedded in some of our workshops that we provide students at the beginning of their program, where they kind of check their skill level to make sure they know how to utilize the most common software programs and things like that. So they're up to speed, and if they're not, it's a good identifier for them to figure out, okay, they need to brush up on this or that in order to be ready to be an online learner.
Mike, do me a favor and identify the 3 schools that we're
Sure,
representing.
We'll
today.
introduce ourselves. Let's do that because we haven't done that yet. Mike Fallon with Webster University. I'm the campus director here in Ocala.
And I'm Randolph Bellamy, College of Central Florida, Assistant Director of Admissions and International Student Services.
And I'm Crystal Flynn. I'm from UCF Connect Ocala campus, and I'm the success coach there. We focus on supporting students from start to finish, admissions through academic advising, transferring to UCF.
And if one school doesn't have something, the other school that you represent might have the same, like you mentioned with the foreign languages. So it's good to know what's
We have
available.
Right. We have a few of those online. The majority of the less common, you would say, are going to be on ground at our main campus. But we definitely work together and send students each other's way.
And that's
if
what
it's
I
gonna
was
be a
going to
better
ask too.
resource.
Could a student who needs something that you might have, Crystal, go to where Randolph has, and you actually be dual enrolled?
There's a process for that. It's called transient enrollment. That's where you have a home institution like UCF or CF, and then you're taking classes at another institution you need for that particular home school's degree. I have students who do that because they want to take a foreign language in a classroom rather than online, and it's that foreign language is needed for our degree. So they may take sign language at CF, for instance, or Spanish in a classroom.
Sign language is considered a foreign language?
It is considered a global language, yes.
Wait a minute. What did I read?
It's not, well, it is.
So if you can speak sign language, you could go anywhere with Mike and speak to everybody there?
Well, it does vary. It does vary a bit. I'm not an expert in that area.
Do you
but
speak all the language? No. How do you handle the language thing when you go traveling?
I mean, I learned important words
Like thank you?
like thank you, restroom,
And police.
here,
Police.
French fries.
Here.
But yeah,
You trust the police?
no, but we're really
drifting.
lucky because almost everywhere in the world people speak some degree of English. So
Yes.
Yeah, but you want to be polite. I always heard.
absolutely,
That's
yeah.
what I always
Try to
heard,
learn a
that
few
they
words.
consider it a sign of respect if you
Sure.
at least give it a shot, right?
learn a few
Exactly.
words.
But politeness goes a long way. Every place I've been abroad, if you're just polite and you're making an effort, that goes miles and
Sometimes
miles
farther
and
than
miles.
that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Than butchering a language and asking for the restroom, and instead you've called them horrible names. So there's that.
Not
you know.
great. But our programs, and I'm sure this is for every school, our programs are taught in English.
Of course.
So our no
Except
matter
for the
where.
foreign languages.
Well,
Good to
except-
know.
That's a different story.
No matter where in the world, even if you're at our campus in Vienna, Austria, or Bangkok, Thailand, all of our programs.
You students over there?
Yeah, we have a campus.
He
We have
really
campus.
does.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Awesome.
Are you jealous,
A
Crystal?
little bit. I love my office. I love my office.
Those programs are taught in English, so they have to know
Okay,
English and pass an
okay.
English proficiency test.
Wow. So as we get through the summer, do we have students now signing up for some of the online programs in bigger numbers, maybe because technology is kind of
We
catapulting?
We do. I mean, UCF now has UCF Online with 18 different majors. You can complete entirely online bachelor's
Wow,
degrees.
wow.
So lots of options. Our number one major at UCF is currently psychology, and you can complete that entirely online, and then it prepares you to go into a master's graduate level program at an institution like our own or Webster, to give you lots of options.
But are you on with other students? Like if you're in a
Absolutely.
classroom, you got bunch of other students, then you raise your hand and the teacher picks you. But
You post on a discussion board, so just like you would perhaps comment on a social media website, there could be a question that the instructor posts to the entire class, and then all the students answer, and then a requirement would be to interact with each other. So you're responding to differing or similar opinions or responses, so there's still that engagement. If you move a class to the online setting, you still can't get away from the basic requirements that all schools have with student interaction, instructor to student interaction, all that still has to happen. We just put it in a virtual setting.
Mike, we're up against a break, so
Okay.
we have a few commercials to play for you guys, actually. So we'll take that little break and be right back. Phone calls, or we're holding off phone calls today?
Phone calls are fun.
If you'd like to call in with a question, you're welcome to do that. The number is 622-9622. Otherwise, we'll give you the individual college numbers. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, times of clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon hours, high 90 to 94. Tuesday night, partly cloudy. There can be a thunderstorm in spots late at night, low 73 to 77. For Wednesday and Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a heavy thunderstorm around each afternoon. The high both days between 90 and 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF has locations in Marion, Citrus, and Levy counties and offers more than 60 academic programs. Earn a certificate, associate, or bachelor's degree. With Florida's 2+2 program, a student can complete an associate in arts at CF and be guaranteed admission to a state of Florida university. CF is ranked number 13 in the U.S. for affordability, is military friendly, and offers a full student life experience. Make CF your first choice. Call 352-873-5800. Do you live in Leesburg, Ocala, or Claremont? Are you interested in teaching, nursing, or business? If so, the University of Central Florida offers you more than a dozen programs that fit your schedule and your budget. You can take classes online or in a classroom or both. You can get ahead in your career and you can do it right in your own neighborhood. UCF has 10 locations near you. Find out more at regionalcampuses.ucf.edu.
With a graduate degree in management and leadership from Webster University, there'll never be a better time for you to explore what's next in your career. Classes are scheduled so you can continue your normal workday routine, and the accelerated program means a new term starts about every 10 weeks. If you're looking to gain a broad general management and leadership perspective, then Webster University's Management and Leadership degree program is the right one for you. It's all a part of what's next at Webster University.
Go to webster.edu/manage, accredited by ACBSP.
Let's see how good of a student I was. Randolph Bellamy.
Yes.
Correct? Got your name. I wasn't sure I got your right name. Crystal Flynn, good to see you again. And of
You
course,
too.
Mike Fallon is here. We are talking about opportunities to further your education. And it sounds like today you wanted to focus on the opportunity to do it from at your own convenience, at home, in the middle of the night, right?
Yes.
So who's the teacher on the other end of the computer in the middle of the night? Is it a video? It's not really anybody awake?
Well, maybe not anybody there at the middle of the night.
So-
Not live
so-
anyway.
Depends on the style of the class.
Yeah, an online class is something that the instructor builds, but then they interact with the students and pretty much at their own time frame. So projects or papers or assignments may be due at midnight. However, that instructor's not watching the
Right.
screen all night.
Sure.
Now, we do offer, at Webster University, we offer what we call WebEx courses. And a WebEx course has a live instructor on camera, and then they also have a live classroom. Live classroom might have 10 students. And for example, this term on Thursday nights at Webster University, I've been teaching a managerial leadership course. And I have students from Tampa St. Pete, I have students from Lakeland, and a couple from the Space Coast area. They come in on webcam, and I can see them on the screen.
Wow.
They can see me.
I'd love
And they
to-
can also see the
Can
classroom.
I be there with you? I want to see this.
You'd really enjoy it. It's really fun. And we do the class this entire way.
Are you by Barnes and Noble? Is that
Yeah, right over by Barnes and Noble and
Okay.
Dillard's.
Okay.
So those students also have to interact during the class, and we have a whole system, and the students that are on webcam will pop up and they give their opinion, they talk about things. I even put them in groups. So the webcam students are in a group and we put classroom in 2 groups, and we have a lot of fun. Now today's what, Tuesday? Thursday night, they will have presentations, and these students will present from their home, their final presentation. So they have a 15-minute presentation. They'll be on camera at their
Wow.
home.
Wow.
Let's hope they have, not pajamas on, and they'll present.
don't want them to have
No,
pajamas on?
they want to, it's a
Maybe prefer
presentation.
not.
And they'll present their final projects for
Right.
this course. And it's a blast, and you get to meet these people from all over. And a couple of them that are on camera are going to actually drive to Ocala because they want to meet everyone else face to face.
Oh, that's nice.
Because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
9 weeks with a group of students. So that's kind of something we've started about the last 2 years, and it's really, really popular with us.
So I didn't realize you did that. That is really cool. And so do you do the same thing?
Well,
Go, no, it's okay.
Anybody?
Go ahead.
no, CF also offers hybrid courses, which is pretty much half in person and half online. Same format with teachers posting discussion questions. Even sometimes quizzes can be taken online. And then sometimes the instructors will require the students to come on campus to our testing center to take exams and things like that.
Really? Are there some courses that you recommend you do it in the classroom? It sounds like
Sure.
language might be one example of that.
It depends specifically on the learner. Everyone learns so differently, so it depends. As an advisor, one of the things I do is I work through with students, if they tell me they've had success previously in online classes, because I generally work with a student who's coming in as a junior. So, I talk to them, did you enjoy the online classes? Were you able to adapt to that style of learning? How did it work for you? And if a student tells me that that's not their most favorite thing, I'm not going to stress to them that they consider further online learning if it's really something they're not comfortable
Gotcha,
with.
right,
But
right.
if they are, then we have lots of resources. And if they want to split the difference, they could certainly do a couple of online classes with us and then travel to one of our campuses or our main campus in Orlando and do the majority. Now for us right now, something that's important to share, we're already closed for fall admissions. We're now working on starting to accept new students for our January spring term.
Wow.
But you're still accepting applications for fall,
Yes.
both of you
Really?
are, right?
Yes,
So
College of
for
Central
any
Florida.
students out there listening, potential students, if they want to connect with either Mike or Randolph, they can talk about admissions. And for us, if someone's interested in looking at coming to us in January, I can help.
If somebody's looking for a job and they're going to further their education for that purpose, explain, and this probably has nothing to do with online learning, but when the job says you need to have a degree from an accredited school, what does that word accredited actually mean? How do I use that information or that, how do I use that when I'm looking for a class?
Who wants to take it?
What do I do?
Well, it depends on the major. So there are certain majors that need to be accredited by certain organizations, and what that's going to mean, and Mike can add on to this, especially in the business realm and psychology as well, for instance, that there's governing organizations over the practice, the study of that particular major. So an organization, an institution that offers those classes has to meet certain standards. And in order to get that accreditation, they're reviewed on a timely basis. Sometimes it's annually, sometimes it's every couple of years to meet overall requirements. And if they are, they get those designations. So when a student is looking for a certain accreditation for a program, they can either go to that organization and find approved schools or connect with the school directly to find out about accreditation. Now, the overall universities and colleges are also accredited through different organizations, and that changes regionally across the U.S. So it differs between private and public, and there's lots of different scenarios.
Really?
So
The reason I'm asking is because Robin's daughter has a really wonderful career working for a veterinary clinic down in Tampa, and that was what she wanted to do. But the first year, she went to a non-accredited school or class or something,
Right.
and so for $1,000 later,
Right.
she had to take it over again.
Unfortunately, that happens. There are a lot of educational institutions out there that are private and for-profit that don't operate under the same guidelines that not-for-profit.
So you need to know that
like
in
we
advance.
are,
what you really
right?
need
Right.
to look for
Yes.
is your institutional accreditation, which is what Crystal's saying. Your overall accreditation for the school. Preferably, if you're going to go for a degree seeking. Seeking a degree, like a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, 4-year degree, you want to be at a regionally accredited school because those credits will transfer. If you go to a nationally accredited school as their institutional accreditation, those are typically like career colleges, technical schools, where you're
Vocational.
vocational,
Right,
where
right.
you're going to get your massage therapy certificate, or you're going to get, paralegal, something like that.
Cosmetology.
And you're not necessarily going to continue on to get an actual degree.
Right.
So it just depends on your track, because some folks might want to go into welding, or they may want to go into cosmetology, and that's it. And that perfect.
Wow. So I don't want to tell you where she went, but you
No,
know it.
please don't.
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
I'll tell you off the air.
We don't want to. I mean,
Because I know the people.
But we hear their
They're
stories
nice.
a lot, and you know
Yes.
those schools do great things. There are some things they do really really well, and there's other things that perhaps it would be in the student's better benefit to maybe seek an accredited institution. It really just depends on what their career goal is.
exactly.
The phone number is open. The phone line is open. The number is 622-9622. But before we say goodbye, what's the best way to contact all of you?
Sure. Well, Mike Fallon at Webster University. You can contact us at 352-861-9330 or webster.edu/Ocala.
Randolph Bellamy, College of Central Florida. We can be contacted via telephone at 352-873-5800, or you can reach us on the World Wide Web at www.cf.edu.
You can reach more information regarding UCF Online at ucfonline.com or our main campus at www.ucf.edu. And you can reach us at 854-2322, extension 1824.
And UCF, you're all booked until January.
Well, our application is closed for fall, so we're working on getting students ready to go for the fall semester, but they can now start applying, new students can now start applying for spring and beyond.
But CF and Webster, you guys are still open doors, right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have rolling admissions, so about every 9 weeks we admit students.
You mentioned that you teach. You guys teach, Randolph and Crystal? Do you teach?
I don't. I have my hands full being a success coach, working with enrollment services, admission, and advising, and everything else.
Randolph,
so.
didn't the last time you were here, didn't you say you were traveling also? Did you go someplace?
Yes, I am. Actually, my last trip was to Japan.
You went to Japan?
Yes, and I've also been
Wow.
to Sweden and Brazil and Hong Kong.
How come? Because of him? I mean, does he influence you?
Of course, of course.
It's just fun, right?
Yeah, it's a great experience to be able to experience cultures outside of the U.S. And of course,
What's your favorite place that you've been to so far?
I would probably have to say Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes, the people there are super duper friendly, and in your major cities, everyone is pretty fluent in English, so it makes things a little easier.
Isn't it hard to believe? I've seen videos. That's about the extent of my travel, but it's so hard to believe that was a war country at one time.
Yes.
I guess the same could be true for Japan and Germany and anything
Absolutely.
we've ever had a war with, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Go to war with us. You become a better country. That's what I would say.
I don't know about that.
Right.
Drifted again. I'm not sure what happened.
Just think
there.
how great Afghanistan is going to look one day, right?
No.
Right.
That'll be it.
No, we had somebody who came in and said Iran was a really wonderful place to visit.
I've heard that as well. My pharmacist told me that in the 60s and 70s it was an amazing place to go and visit, and beautiful buildings, and I'm sure one day.
One day,
it'll
maybe
be
not
that way.
today, but one day I'm sure that'll be a lovely place to visit again.
So many. I mean,
Right.
that country has so many biblical ruins throughout. I mean, it'd be fantastic to explore at some point.
Great historical adventure.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it'd be really, really cool.
So, what's your favorite place so far that you've been to, besides Chernobyl?
God, I can't even tell you. I love everywhere. I could live anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Crystal?
It would be a toss-up, probably either Paris or Vienna. I really, really enjoyed
They
Vienna.
both look nice on video.
I was in Vienna in the winter, right near Christmas, and
I
it was
love their
just-
sausages, by
it's
the way.
just- The chocolate is divine there as well. But I recommend it. Yeah, lovely people.
Does the food really make a difference? I mean, when you go
I think
places
so.
like Anthony Bourdain, they'll eat everything, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
All right. Well, see, I'm expanding my education by listening to your travels. Thank you all for coming. I love this segment. It's so enlightening, and for the listeners, I think I'll never get over the fact that when I was coming of college age, there wasn't. I think the only thing in town was Central Florida Community College at that time. Now so much has changed. So many more opportunities here to advance your education. Thank you. Thank you all.
So much.
You're
Eric.
welcome.
We will take a little break and we will be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, times of clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon hours, high 90 to 94. Tuesday night, partly cloudy. There can be a thunderstorm in spots late at night, low 73 to 77. For Wednesday and Thursday, Times of clouds and sun with a heavy thunderstorm around each afternoon. The high both days between 90 and 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
96.3 FM.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and White House senior advisor, back on Capitol Hill right now as probes into Russian election meddling continue.
This morning, he's going to take questions from House committee staffers as well as lawmakers. Yesterday on the Senate side, he did not take direct questions from senators.
Fox's Catherine Herridge. Meanwhile, another member of the Trump presidential campaign asked to testify by the Senate Judiciary Committee.
They have said now that they are subpoenaing former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. They want him to come talk on the record. They want him to testify in a public hearing. There's been some back and forth, some conversations about whether he would produce documents, how much of an interview he would do, who would have access to it.
Fox's Shannon Bream and the parents of Charlie Gard, a critically ill infant at the center of a court battle in London, telling a judge they want to take their son home to die. Fox News, we report, you decide.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
The kids are not listening to me.
I got this. Who wants ice cream?
Oh, so that's how you get them to listen.
With available powerful third-row seats in the Ford Explorer, there's always more room for the whole family. And then some.
Impressive, huh?
No, not really.
Wait, who are the two in the third row?
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event.
It's always a good time.
Now with summer's hottest offer. Get 0% financing for 72 months on select Fusion, Escape, Mustang, and Explorer models. Plus, get $1,000 on top of your trade-in.